Welcome into ESPN Headlines. I'm Jamie Sire. The Washington Redskins have grabbed a defensive lineman from a division rival. They have signed Jason Hatcher to a 4-year deal, formerly of the Dallas Cowboys. For more on this story, we welcome in ESPN Redskins reporter John Keim. And John, this is a 4-year contract worth a reported $27.5 million, which would be the largest for Washington in free agency. He is coming off that Pro Bowl season, but he also turns 32 this season. Why do they feel he is worth it?
Well, one thing they needed to do this offseason was improve their pass rush, and a lot of focus has been on the defensive backfield, but their pass rush has been a big problem, and the inability to generate much push up the middle in particular in the interior has been an issue. And so I think with a guy like Jason Hatcher, that's where he's excelled, and they have Barry Cofield there already to help with that. So I think that's a big reason why they felt like he was worth that sort of money.
Yeah, 11 sacks last season. That's more than the entire defensive line combined. Where do you see him fitting in within Washington's defense?
Well, I see him as one of their defensive ends. They play the 3-4, and then they use a lot of, last year they used nickel almost 70% of the time. So he'll play a lot in that. In that situation, they'll have two defensive linemen, and they almost line up as defensive tackles, like in a 4-3 front. So he's very comfortable in both spots, and that's where he flourished last year. So he'll be a versatile player for them, and that's why, like I said, I think this is a good move just for that reason. It gives them somebody else who can push the pocket in nickel rush situations, and the only guy who could really do that last year was Cofield, and he wasn't consistent enough.
He drew plenty of interest from a lot of other teams around the league. Why do you think he chose Washington?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, I don't know if that was the best offer he received. I'm going to assume that for now. He's also best friends with current Redskins defensive end Stephen Bowen. So I don't know how much that played a role in there. Usually it's going to come down to money, and the Redskins definitely wanted to improve there. And so I think that's my guess is that that's what it came down to, but it certainly doesn't hurt if you have a guy you're close to on the roster.
Absolutely. That is ESPN Redskins reporter John Keim joining us here on ESPN Headlines. A reminder to keep it here on ESPN.com for all of your NFL news. For ESPN Headlines, I'm Jamie Sire.